badly used in 19th century. Then, in his article, he mentioned like this: as a detailed scrutinization of the manuscript is still under preparation, and he introduced us very interesting, but which is not found in Pali Text Society version. Is a Dutio Hesati Sangato Tayo Dubisata Wasani. But he just mentioned like this, and then he has not published any more further research on this topic. So we just visited with Andrew. We just visited John Ryland Library. Looks like a castle, and we found, this manuscript is Dipavamsa. The thing is, it's quite interesting because you see the title Dipavamsa is put here, and the two stickers do there. So I think maybe John Ryland Library considered that this hardcover is the very first page, but as we scrutinize this manuscript, this cover is the very last page. So it implies that maybe this manuscript has not analyzed so far in detail or in academically like that. So it's the very first two folios, and then it's the last folio which includes the colophon. So if you look into the detail, it is very well preserved. So kindly the librarian sent us a very high quality archive, 150 megabytes each folio, TIFF file when we complained. And then Andrew made this Akshara table for me to educate, to read, how to read the Burmese script like that. So thanks to this table and his education for me, relatively in short time I could join this project together. So firstly, we made sense that at least 3 scribes joined in this work. So first scribe made the title, the second scribe made a huge amount of main text, and then last scribe made just a small colophon. So you see, it's exactly the same letter, but very different writing styles here. So, based on this very basic understanding, actually this, the thing that I'm going to deliver today is very just small stuff because it's just ongoing research. So, but yeah, I think it's small, but it's quite interesting and important, I think. So firstly, let me share our analysis of colophon here. So, if you look at the catalog of manuscript catalog in John Ryland Library, Jaya Vikrama mentioned like this: this text was edited in Roman characters by Hermann Odenberg, 1879 here. So, if you come to this colophon of our manuscript here, it could be translated like this: Saka Raj 1259 Ku Tapui 12 Lachan 13 Lak Mu Mha Re Ku Lve or something. It's unclear though. Then 1898 Ku Pepa Vari La for Rock, like this. So in order to understand this colophon, we also found one also very helpful article. It's written by Heinz Braun. It's a colophons of a Burmese manuscript. So we found very interesting and important information from this article. So Sakaraj, Ku, La, Rak, like this information. So being based on this information, we analyzed this colophon like this. Sakaraj 1259 Ku refers to Sakaraj era 1259. And then Tapudwe is a Tapudwe, the 11th month of the Burmese year. Lak month, Chan is working fortnight, and then 13 Lak is the 13th day, and Mu is the abbreviation of Mula in Pali, so it's the original text. And then Mha is the ablative suffix, so it refers to just from or something like that. Leku is to copy or to transcribe. And then Lve is still unclear. And then 1898 Ku is a Gregorian year, 1898. And Pepavari is just sound of February. La month for rock to the 4th day. So it comes to understand, even though some part of it is unclear still so far, but we could understand like this. Somebody set this down from the original text on 13th day of the working fortnight of Tapodwe in Sakaraj year 1259, and which means that it was copied on the 4th day of the month, February 1898. So please have a look at this one, February 1898. If you come back to the first edition of Dipavamsa, published by Polytech Society, it was published in 1879, and then my Burmese manuscript in John Island Library was copied in 1898. So chronologically, it was made later than the first edition of Dipavamsa. Then, furthermore, Odenberg, in his introduction, he mentioned that he used 11 manuscripts scattered in Sri Lanka at that time. So he put siglars like F, N, G, A, B, etc. Then he mentioned that these all of 11 manuscripts were from the same original source, and then he put the name Burmese archetype. But unfortunately, it was very incorrectly written in Burmese characters. So he concludes that it might blunder common to 11 manuscripts like that. So as you see, Odenberg already noticed that his first work is very fragile, very fragile. Oh, as you see, Odenberg never mentioned about this Manchester manuscript in his introduction. Yeah. So, this phrase, this text was edited in Roman characters by Hermann Odenberg, 1879. Of course, this is true because Jaya Vikrama mentions this text, but it should be noted that, but not this manuscript. Just the text itself was published and edited in 1879, but it does not guarantee that this manuscript has been scrutinized in academic field. So, it's the first information. The second one, being based on our kind of assumption, we compare just a small part of the Dipavamsa between Polytech Society's version to Burmese manuscript. Still I have 10 minutes, right? So, if you come to the Lamotte, at the end of Lamotte, in his book, History of Indian Buddhism, he mentioned like this. However, one passage which we would like to think of as corrupt in the Dipavamsa locates the same event in 118 after the Nirvana, and Buddha Bodhisattva, in his Atta Salini, comes down in favor of the year 218 after the Nirvana. As you shall see, after 5 minutes, I just want to rephrase this phrase, like, however, one passage which we would like to think of as corrupt in the first edition of Dipavamsa, edited by Hermann Odenberg in 19th century, not just text itself. It's my conclusion, actually. So, let's get back to these two problematic verses here. So, Anupada Parinipai, Suryo Atangato Yata. So, Parinipute Chatuma Sesati, Patamasangaho. The Tato Parang Vasasate Wasani Atara Sanija. Tatio Sangavuti, Pavata Taya Sasana. Here. So Odenberg translated these two verses like it's broken. I shall reach complete Parinibbana like the setting sun. And 4 months after my death by Parinibbana, the first convocation will be held. And 118 years later, the third convocation will take place for the sake of the propagation of the faith. If we understand this, if we rely on these understandings, actually, this Lamotte's understanding of Lamotte is right. But if we compare these two verses to our Manchester manuscript, there's something different. So first verse, verse number 24 in PTS version, is divided into two different verses in Burmese manuscript. And then the other two, four padas is also divided into four different places in the Burmese manuscript. And then our Burmese manuscript has a wholly new two padas which are not found in the Pali text society. So you see, it's broken. Well, it should be here, okay? So first two pada come to the first two different padas of the Burmese manuscript, and then third and fourth pada come to the first and second pada of the verse number 26. And it's also broken. So, and then first two pada come to the third and the fourth pada in Burmese manuscript, and the last two pada come to the other verse. And then this Burmese manuscript has two wholly different padas which are not found in the Pali text society. So let me scrutinize this Burmese manuscript here. It could be transliterated like Anupada Parinipa in Suryo Attan Kamito Yata. So this green colored verses is in Herman Odenberg, the Pali text society's version. So you see, we could find a little bit different stuff here. So let me compare. So the first difference is Parinipa in versus Parinipa I. But in my opinion, as far as I understand, this Burmese manuscript should be amended, because Parinipa in is nonsense. It's no meaning here. So it should be amended like Parinipa I, just like that of Pali text society, because it should be like one who got Parinibbana, like that. So it should be masculine singular nominative here. Then second one is Attan Kamito versus Attan Gato here. So firstly, we could make sense that Burmese manuscript really just prefer the homogonic measure rather than that of Pali text society's version. And then Kamita and Gata. Well, in the case, of course, if you get the Sanskrit, in the context of Sanskrit, Kamita has a little bit different meaning. But here, I think Kamita and Gata is exactly same. It's just different form of past participle here. So Kamita Gata is just, my opinion, is just for meta problem. That's all. So I understood this these two words like this. Anupada. Well, actually, last night I checked the book that Venerable Professor Dhamajyoti gave me yesterday, the Pali textbook, and I made sense that I got a little bit error here. So according to his book, Anupada is not clinging, right? But at the time, when I made this screen, I just understood like Anupada refers to not taking any for the fuel. So I understood like not taking any for the fuel for the further lives or next lives or something like that. So I understood like giving up the physical body. Parinipai, they will be the one who gets Parinibbana, and then Yata, just like Suryo, the sun. Attan Kamito, that has a set. I understood like this. So Burmese manuscript, Burmese verse number 25 refers to delivers like a very neat description of the Parinibbana of the Buddha. So, and then second verse, we translate like Pari Buddha Chatumase, Patamo Hesati Sangaho. Yes, almost same to the Pali text society. And Tato Parang Vasasate to Dio Hesati Sangaho. It has some problem here. So if you compare the first difference is a Patamo Hesati Sangaho in Burmese and Hesati Patama Sangaho in PTS. Actually, it is a different reading, but actually the meaning is exactly the same. So there will be the first council, Patamo Hesati Sangaho, or Hesati Patama Sangaho is exactly the same meaning here. So it has no problem, I think. But the problem is the second difference here. Tuttiu Hesati Sangaho in Burmese and Wassani Atrasani in PTS. So in the case of a Burmese manuscript, it refers to like just there will be the second council. It describes about the second council. But in the case of Pali text society's version, it mentions just chronological information here. So it mentioned just 18 years, 118 years. It's big difference here. So we translated it like, during the 4th month after the final release, namely the Parinibbana of the Buddha, there will be the first council. And then 100 years after that, there will be the second council. So in the Burmese manuscript, verse number 26 also conveys a very neat and very clear understandings about first two convocations, first two councils like this. Is quite different from that of Pali Text Society's version here. Then it's the last verse. So Tato Dvisata Wasani Wasana Tarasani Ja here. As I've already mentioned, these two padas are not found in the Pali Text Society's version. And then last two verses, Tatio Sangha Hohoti Pavata Taya Sasana. It's almost the same. I mean, actually, exactly the same as that of the Pali Text Society. If we compare that, firstly, Burmese manuscript has a wholly new sentence, and which is not found, never found in the Pali Text Society version. And then Sangaho is a second difference, but yeah, as I've already mentioned, Burmese manuscript just prefer the homogenic nature, so it does not have a deep meaning here. So, if we follow just the understanding of Burmese manuscript, here the last verse could be understood like 218 years after the Buddha's death, Buddha's Parinibbana, there will be the third council for the promotion of the teaching. So it's very neat information about the third council also, right? And then if we compare this understanding to Atasalini, the problematic phrase that Etienne Lamotte mentioned here, Mama Parinibbana to Attarasa, etc. So at the end of 218 years after the Buddha's death, a monk, Mokkali Buddha Tissa, held the third council. So we could notice that these two texts, these two texts share the same historical perspectives about three councils here. So, if you come back to the Etienne Lamotte here, however, one passage which we would like to think of as corrupt in the Dipavamsa, as I've already mentioned, it should be rephrased, like in the very first edition of Dipavamsa, edited by Thomas Oldenberg, even in 19th century. Okay? So it's my summary. Burmese manuscript, even it is just ongoing research though, we found that it has 3 different scribes at least, and then it was copied in February 1898. And then it was very different from the 11 manuscripts that Oldenberg used. So, furthermore, it shares, different from the understanding of Lamotte, it shares the same chronological perspectives with the other commentarial texts. So it's my conclusion. This conclusion is quite small because it's just an ongoing research, but I'm sure it would be quite broader in near future. So there were differences from what has been known about the text Dipavamsa, because usually Western scholars regard this text Dipavamsa as just broken or as corrupt like that. But if we compare